Hello, veterinary friends. Welcome to the podcast. Today, I have a wonderful guest for you. His name is Alexandre Contreras. He is a veterinary technician turned entrepreneur and philanthropist. He's the founder and president of Innovational Pet Product Division, LLC, and PetTrio Charity, Incorporated. He's a certified canine massage therapist, and he opened DogApy, which was a canine massage therapy service company. He recently, in the last year or two, he'll tell us, invented and patented the first ever 3-in-1 pet nail clipper called KlipTrio. And he'll tell us about his journey today. And I'm excited to have you on the podcast. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Julie. I appreciate this. Again, any opportunity that I get to tell my story, I get to relive some facets of it that I tend to forget along the journey. And I'm just so grateful that we're able to connect on LinkedIn. And I just kept messaging you, hey, let's set something up.
And I finally got
podcast.
on it, huh? Because sometimes
Yeah.
my calendar is kind of full. So I'm glad we finally got together. We did talk once before, like a year
Yeah.
or two ago. I think it was when you were first inventing your nail clipper, and I talked to you a little bit before, but we didn't get on a podcast. So I'm really delighted that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And definitely the listeners, especially if they're in the veterinary profession, the pet industry as a whole, for my fellow technicians out there, veterinarian assistants, this story is for you guys because eventually this is what got me to this point. Never
Right.
forgetting where I came from, always remembering that even though I wear suits now, I'm always going to have a scrub underneath. And
Right.
I'm just fortunate to tell my story.
I love that. Well, that's what usually my first question is, tell me your story. So it's all tell me the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like most people that get into the pet industry or the veterinarian industry as a whole. It's really started out as a passion and a love for animals at a young age. I attribute that a lot to my late grandpa, who would literally stick me in front of a TV at a young age. I would watch the Animal Planet, the Discovery Channel, Net Geo Wild, so all those animal related programs. So really early on in life, I knew exactly this is where I wanted to gravitate towards, right? And I had realistic expectations on myself, Julie, meaning that I knew I wasn't going to be an astronaut. I knew I wasn't going to be the president of the United States, but I knew I wanted to be at the veterinary profession at some capacity, right? And again, having realistic expectations on myself, I never wanted to be the veterinarian. Uh, and I speak to a lot of veterinarians now in the industry to tell me, man, I should have never became a veterinarian. But that's a whole other story.
Right.
But I'm just glad that what I was seeing on TV, I was able to kind of grasp it at a young age and gravitate towards that. And again, my mom, she was very, very influential in me getting into this profession. She's the one that allowed me, if I saw dogs in the streets or cats, to bring them to the house. I really gravitated towards reptiles. So if I ever wanted iguanas, snakes of any kind, my mom would just let me fill my room up. And it was that cultivation and that nurturing process that really allowed me to realize, like, man, I can really do something here once I get older, right? So
Right.
sure enough, I was watching this show on emergency vets, called Emergency Vets on Animal Planet.
I
It
remember
was
that show.
literally a camera crew, right? A camera crew following a technician. It wasn't even following the veterinarians because if you can
Right.
look back on the show, yeah, they'll have snippets of the veterinarian, but they were following the technician. And again, we all know the technicians are the moving parts of the organization.
They
The
do the
doctors
real
are
work.
we do the real work. The veterinarians obviously are the brains of the organization, but at the end of the day, it's down from the kennel tech to the assistants to the technicians to the receptionists that truly are the inner workings of the hospital.
Right.
And that's what I was observing on TV. And that's when I was like, Mom, I want to be that person, right? And of course, coming from a Hispanic household, you would think my mom would be thinking that I was pointing to be that veterinarian, but I wasn't. Again, I was pointing to be that technician, right?
Right.
And again, we didn't have as many vet tech programs as we do now back in 2004, 2003 when I graduated from high school.
Mhm.
Again, looking at the commercials on Animal Planet, there is one that was constantly on rerun, which was via Penn Foster on how to become a veterinarian technician, right? The certification program.
Right.
So sure enough, As soon as I graduated from high school, I enrolled in that online EDU via Penn Foster to become the veterinary technician. Got the schooling all done there. Got the little piece of paper after about a year and a half, 2 years into the program. Got my first job at an AHA accredited animal hospital by the name of Town and Country Animal Hospital here in Kendall, Florida. Started out as a kennel assistant and literally never looked back, right? Got my first crack there. I remember very vividly, Julie. I would pick up on purpose. I would pick up holiday shifts, weekend shifts, my other technicians' shifts, to show to my managers and to the doctors that, hey, look, I really want to be here. This isn't a summer job for me. This isn't a volunteer job. I want to make this a life's career. Just give me the opportunity to get in that treatment area. I'm tired of being in the back. I'm tired of walking the dogs. I'm tired of feeding the
boarders. You wanted to do some of the fun stuff.
I wanted to do some of the fun stuff. And I remember, and this is very important now, especially for a lot of practice managers out there, realize that those assistants back there, those border techs or whatever you guys call them, they're dying to be where the heat's at. They want to be in those treatment areas. So I remember looking through the double door dividers that separates the boarding area to the treatment area, and looking through that plate glass thinking, damn,
I want to do that.
I want to do that. And of course, showing day after day my persistence to my managers that, hey, I want to be here. I'm trained. I'm ready to go. That opportunity presented itself. I got thrown in the fire, so to speak. One of the technicians didn't happen to come in that week. They grabbed me from the back. The doctor personally grabbed me from the back. He says, you ready? He said, I'm ready, Dr. Mordaunt. They threw me right into the treatment area. And again, I was cross-trained on all aspects of it. Not only did I already know how to do the boarding part, I already knew how to do check-in just in case there wasn't a receptionist there. I know that to do obviously some of the triage things once I became their assistant and eventually became their technician. And from there is where I was able to realize, like, man, this is exactly what I wanted to do. The opportunity presented itself, and now I'm ready to take full advantage of it. So sure enough, out of my 20-year career as a technician, 10 of those years was in Town and Country Animal Hospital alone, which is very rare in my profession. As you know, most technicians usually burn out within like year 3 or year 4, and we're out the door. But the fact that I stayed there committed to those doctors, because I wasn't committed to the hospital, I was committed to those doctors. I realized, like, this is what it's about. Realizing that there's opportunities as a technician to grow within this field, but you truly have to be in an environment that cultivates that and wants you to excel and wants you to stay there, which is why my loyalty to those guys stayed there for so long, is because they got me at 18 years old. They gave me the opportunity, and I looked at them like, I can't turn my back on these guys. They paid for my education. They gave me the opportunity. You know, I'm gonna stick here for as long as I can, right? So I was fortunate that also in that 10-year tenure with those guys, I became a certified canine massage therapist. And this is where, like, the business kind of entrepreneur spirited reignited itself in me. I've always been an entrepreneur-driven person at heart. I attribute that a lot to my upbringing, you know, being raised in a household of a single mom, trying to raise 2 kids. If I or my brother ever wanted anything extra, instead of burdening my mom with it, my brother and I would figure it out. Hey, man, we got to go cut grass. We got to go wash a car. We got to go figure it out if we want to buy these new shoes. We want cash. We better go work and sweat for it.
Right.
Let's not bother mom, right? So when I was there working, after becoming the certified canine massage therapist, I said, damn, Alex, what can I do here with this certification? I'm seeing these animals recover from treatments in conjunction with medications, but also the massage therapy aspect of it as an alternative. And I started to realize, wait a minute, Alex, we can create a little side hustle service business out of this to offset my not so good veterinary technician salary.
Right.
This will be a good way to supplement that and still keep me engaged in this profession, right? So sure enough, Julie, it started out as a joke, massaging my friends and my neighbors' dogs that were recovering from some type of an ailment or even just generalized arthritis. And I started to realize that these animals were recovering a bit faster and feeling a bit better.
It was
And that's
working.
when I said, you know what? Why don't I start a little service called DogApy? On my days off, I would do 2 or 3 clients. On the weekends, I would do 2 or 3 clients. And sure enough, Julie, I started to realize, like, wait a minute, now I'm starting to make some side money here. I'm still this technician, I'm still helping animals, but now I have that business kind of insight and that business fortitude, right? So
Turned you
did
into
the
an
dog,
entrepreneur.
yeah, there it goes. And that's
Yeah.
when I realized, wait a minute, let me put some of these videos together on my cases. I learned how to do editing and putting these cases together. I would post it up on YouTube, hoping that some Animal Planet executive was gonna see it and be like, "Hey, we need to give this guy, Mr. Contreras, a
He
TV
needs his own
show.
TV show. Yeah.
He's down in Miami. He's marketable. His
Right.
service is obviously working."
Yeah.
So I did that for about 3 or 4 years, Julie. Animal Planet didn't come knocking on my doors, but what did happen is that I got the attention of the local news down here in Miami. I was able to massage one of the main anchors' dogs on live TV, and
Nice.
that was when I realized, like, oh man, this really could be something. Maybe Dogapy was just my ticket in for me to start thinking in this fashion, right?
Thinking
Like
bigger. Yeah.
I needed to start somewhere, right? So sure enough, I did the Dogapy thing, like I mentioned, for about 3 or 4 years, Julie. But again, it was a service-based business, meaning it needed my time, it needed my energy. I was still the 9 to 5 technician at Town and Country Animal Hospital. That's when I said, you know what, Alex, I need to do something else. Still want to be in this profession. I still want to be committed here, but what else can I do, right? And it was always that, Julie. What more can I do? When I would ask myself that is when I would reflect on, okay, what can I do? What is there more that I can do, right? So sure enough, fast forward to 2016, Julie, get ready to turn 30 years old. I see the writing on the wall. I see younger, fresher, hungrier technicians coming into the profession. And self-consciously, I always dealt with the fact that I never wanted to be viewed as the old guy in the clinic that couldn't be a doctor because I never wanted to be a doctor,
Right.
right?
That wasn't
But
your ambition.
self-consciously, I had to deal with that internally myself, right? Like knowing, like, hey, Alex, they're gonna think you're the old guy, and me telling myself, hey, Alex, you're not the old guy. You just don't want to be a doctor. You're fine where you're at, right?
Right.
So
Right.
2016, Julie, I'm binge watching multiple episodes of the hit show called Shark Tank, which I'm sure that everybody is familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Entrepreneurs love that show.
yeah, and I've learned so much from watching that show.
Yeah.
And I've realized from watching the people on the show, Julie, if they can create products, services, and business in something they have firsthand knowledge in, why can't I? They're
Sure.
no different than me. I'm no different than them. They just so happen to have an insight on something that they've been doing for so long that they want to improve and make better, right? So that's when I realized, okay, Alex, what in the veterinary profession could be improved and made better, and definitely safer, not only for us technicians performing the task and for every other pet owner, but more importantly for the patients that we're treating, right? And that's when I stumbled across what I've coined one of the most overlooked aspects in the animal care profession, and it's the dreadful nail trimming process in animals. We hate trimming animals' nails. I don't care how much of a trained, experienced technician you are. I don't care if you're like a gold star groomer. You're gonna nip the quick, Julie. And when
Right.
you nip the quick, which happens everywhere globally, yeah, even in somebody's living room floor, right as we're speaking, or in a
Right.
treatment area right now,
Sure.
we have to yell for our fellow coworkers to retrieve that jar of styptic powder for us, which we know that when we open that bad boy up, we don't know when we opened it. We're gonna find contaminants in there, old nail clippings, dog hair. You might even find the technician's strand of hair embedded in there somehow. But obviously, we will have to pour this powder on the table, dab our fingers on it, grab that animal's engine to try to safely place that powder on there, only to create a huge mess, Julie. So in 2016, I said, you know what, Alex, this has to change. There has to be a safer, faster, and definitely a hygienic way of applying styptic powder to an animal's injured nail. Little did I know that idea was going to take me on a 4.5 year journey through the planning process. I secured 2 utility patents on the first ever disposable styptic powdered cartridge and the first ever 3-in-1 pet nail clipper with an integrated stainless steel nail file on the actual handle, virtually making it a 3-in-1 tool, Julie. You can trim the animal, you can cut the animal's nail, file the animal's nail. In the event that you make the mistake of nipping the quick, no more yelling for jarred styptic powder. No more having to worry about when we opened it. It's all going to be contained within that disposable cartridge, right? So, how to keep my mouth shut for 4.5 of those years. But in those 4.5 years, I educated myself on project management, marketing, some of the integral understanding of biology, like the psychology behind people purchasing products and things of that
Right.
sort.
Yeah.
I learned about public speaking. I learned about community engagement. And in those 4.5 years, while I kept my mouth shut, educating myself, or what I like to call the school of hard knocks. Since 2022, I've been able to openly speak about KlipTrio coming to market. I've been on 2 Veterinary magazine covers. I won 5 awards so far, and KlipTrio hasn't even came out to market yet.
Wow.
I'm known by some of the well-known veterinarians in the industry, which is why I got these opportunities with the DVM 360 folks,
Wow.
the Vet Candy magazine appearance, and things of that sort. But while I had all that going on, Julie, I've always wanted to have a social calling attached to me, which is what led me to start PetTrio Charity, where I plan on not only donating a KlipTrio for every animal that gets adopted from a rescue organization that I plan on partnering up with, but I'm a huge, huge advocate for more veterinarian assistant programs here in our public schooling in Miami-Dade County.
Mm.
I've been fortunate that I speak at the 6 vet tech programs that I identified here in the public schooling system. Every time I speak to the students, they see my journey, they hear my journey, and they've seen the things that I've accomplished. It allows them to realize, like, oh, you don't have to be a veterinarian to be in this profession. I didn't know you could be a technician. I didn't know you could be a veterinary dental technician. I didn't know you could be a massage therapist. I
Sure.
sure as hell didn't know you could be an entrepreneur. So again, it just adds this breath of fresh air into the profession of letting others out there know that I'm no different than anyone else. I tie my shoes the same. I brush my teeth the same. I wipe my butt the same. I just so happen to be passionate about something for so long and just stay committed throughout the years to get me to this point. I'm very thankful for all the people that I've connected with along the way. One of the big kind of milestones that I hit was meeting the CARES organizations. That's the Companions for Animals Reform and Equity. It's a BIPOC-led animal welfare organization headed by James and Jennifer Evans. I met them back in 2021 via LinkedIn. They heard my story. When they heard I wanted to start my own nonprofit, they said, Mr. Contreras, here's your first grant. Go set up PetTrio Charity, get your 501c, everything exempt. And by the way, here's a Maddie's fund as well. Start rolling out these initiatives that you're doing out there in Miami-Dade County. We're here to support you. And when I've realized that I tapped into something much bigger than myself, that's when my mission grew stronger. That's when I really was like, you know what? I'm really going to show the profession that we're more than just technicians. We could be these innovators, we could be these entrepreneurs, we could be in philanthropy. And more importantly, it's allowing those technicians to just realize that we have so much potential. It's just not letting anyone diminish that light along your journey. And that's really what my story's been about. Every no that I got just redirected me to better yeses. And I'm just so thankful to even just be in this position, just to be an example of what happens when passion meets persistence and dedication. And that's pretty much my story in a nutshell.
That's great. So the KlipTrio, it's not out yet?
We're hoping, or I'm hoping strategically, I started out backwards, Julie, meaning that I wanted to get all the recognition in the industry, all the connections in the industry while I was building the product out behind closed doors. So
Gotcha.
when that day comes that we hopefully launch in January of 2026, it's just phone calls away because I've already built a rapport with everybody that I need to, meaning
They're
like
aware of it and that it's coming out.
exactly. It's not like I came to them with a product and I'm shoving it down their mouth. No, no. They know my story. They see my journey. by the way, here's the product now. Here it goes, you know?
And to the product, you have attached this great mission because you're not only trying to change the something for technicians in the veterinary profession, but you're also doing the charity work to support them in school
Yeah.
and so your mission will revolve around the veterinary technician and the assistants and
Yeah.
which they don't really have a
Exactly.
voice.
Exactly. They
Yeah,
really don't have a voice and they don't have an example of what's possible. And again,
sure.
usually, and as you know, Julie, usually in the veterinary industry, it's a doctor. Like, oh, there's doctors on this mission. This
Sure.
doctor's doing that. That's what's
Right.
expected.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, so it's a technician leading this front.
Right.
Oh, you know, and this is the voice. This is what we got going on. And again, now actually PetTrio Charity is in the works now of having my first food donation drive at the local high school vet tech program here.
Nice.
I got the county commissioners on board, school board members on board, some superintendents in the Miami-Dade County Public Schooling. I was fortunate enough through the CARES organization and the Greater Goods Charity. I'm going to get, I think it's like 3,000 pounds of dog food. And we plan on distributing it throughout the community here in Miami-Dade County. Again, shedding light on the vet tech programs, shedding light on the student body, but more importantly, addressing the need for my community because unfortunately here in Homestead where I live, it's a very underserved community. And again, this is my way of giving back to the profession of letting them know like, hey, look, I'm doing all these amazing things in the pet industry, in the veterinary industry. I'm not going to forget about my hometown. By the way, here's a bag of dog food.
Right.
Be on your merry way. You know, it's again just my way to kind of give back to my
Yeah.
community because my community literally built me, you know?
Right. Right. So what's your vision for the future once you get the KlipTrio out? Are there other inventions in the back of your mind? Do you see it being like this huge company where you've got multiple inventions? What do you think your future is? Is it the
Yeah, I'm
philanthropy?
glad.
Is it both?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Julie, because again, one thing that I learned about my story and I got to analyze and I really got to get the layout of the land. Raising capital has been the hardest thing you can do, especially in the pet industry. And again, everybody's on the old AI trained software. I understand all that. But one thing that I did realize, again, I've always seemed to find a gap in something. I found the gap in the way we apply styptic powder and the way we can
Sure.
streamline that. Now I found the gap on the raising of the capital for pet startups in the industry. It's really only like 5 big organizations that hold that kind of game in the chokehold. And
Right.
I'm hoping that with Innovational Pet Product Division and some of the partners with that I'm speaking on the back end at the VC level, we plan on starting our own pet fund as well. We're going to be coming in with big cash, and I'm hoping that KlipTrio will be our starting product. And eventually, I'll be able to attend these startup pitch competitions. I'll be able to be that sixth pet fund if I see an interesting product out there or founder like myself. I see the struggles. I see a way where we could uplift them and make us some money in return. I want to try to bring those startups into the fold and bring them under the umbrella that is Innovational Pet Product
So
Division.
you're gonna be a shark.
My goal is to
You're
be
going
the
into the
dog.
financial end of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. I want
Okay.
to be
Love that.
involved on. I want to be involved in that part again, Julie, because again, I found a gap. I want the representation as well, and again, I just want to further showcase. Like, hey, I started out as an assistant. I started out as a technician.
I
I started
know.
out as it, and it just kind of showed like I didn't come to this profession like if I was like a carpenter and then I just got into it because I had a lot of money. No, no, no,
Right.
no. I
Right.
got into it from the ground up. I
Right.
made some money because I invented something. I know the inner workings of it and I can see kind of the trends and kind of see around the corner. And that's where I want to position myself eventually to be that number 6 pet fund. So that's the big goal. Hopefully that I want to my next journey is to kind of sit there and be that 6 venture fund for
Yeah,
sure.
and you're doing this with no formal financial training. You didn't go to school to be a financial advisor. You didn't go to school to learn how to be an entrepreneur and this is all like kind of self-made, which I think is
Exactly. And
the
it's funny that you
greatest.
mentioned that because literally right here on my neck, on this side and on this side, it says self-made. I like tattoos a lot. I try to put them in places professionally, obviously, because I still need to be
Right.
professional. But the one that I knew for sure was the best one was when I tattooed KlipTrio on my forearm,
When did you do
because
that?
I did this 2017. This was only a year after I thought about it,
Okay.
way before I even knew that my patents were going to be issued.
Right.
I just felt that I believe a lot in the law of attraction, Julie, and affirmations, and
Yes.
this was my way of telling the universe, this is mine.
I'm going
I'm
here.
going to see it all the way through, because
Yeah.
failure would not be an option for me, because I would literally have to stare at regret for the rest of my life. And that's what kind of kept me going and kept me on this journey for so long.
Yeah. So part of your advice to people out there that are either struggling or that want to kind of follow your path is to commit and not give up. What are your advice? The words of
Full commitment. This journey, should you decide to embark on it, burn all your boats.
not a
Meaning
joke.
that in my first year, Julie, unfortunately, when I decided to hang up the scrubs over at Town Country Animal Hospital to focus at least a year on KlipTrio, because in hindsight, I was like, that's it. I thought of something. That's it. I'm rich
I'm gonna be
tomorrow.
rich. Yeah.
It didn't
That's
work
not
like
how
that.
it
But
works.
in that first year, I literally had to back myself in the corner and realize, like, no, I'm going to dedicate at least one full year to this till I get my bearings in here. But it really took that commitment, and you literally have to just take a plunge, because, again, I'm a family man. I have 2 kids to raise, single father, head of household. I knew that, hey, whatever I decide to do today is going to have major impact 2, 3 years down the line. Are you ready to jump, Alex? And I said, I'm ready to jump. And I never looked back since
And you're
then. And
all
again,
in.
all in. So you definitely need to have that full commitment. No half stepping, no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You have to commit yourself 1000% if you want to really truly be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Do you think there's a special personality trait that someone needs to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, there's a couple that I could say from various people that I've spoken with. You can kind of see the trait in them. And it's the persistence. And that persistence truly, really only comes from living a life where you can take criticism, but you won't let it diminish your actions.
Mm,
Meaning, like, you could tell me, oh, Alex, you're not, because I've heard it. Oh, Alex, you're not gonna get no patent. A nail clipper with a nail, you're dumb. I was like, hey, man, I'm going for it. There's
right.
more dumber ideas out there that get more validation.
Sure.
I'm going for it. So you definitely have to live in the world of how can I
Let,
say,
letting
of
the
rejection,
criticism, yeah, bounce off you
criticisms,
or yeah.
rejections, and just learn how to take no's and just realize, like, that's a no, but tomorrow's a yes, or the next day could be 20 yeses. But you definitely have to have that trait where you just have to learn that rejection is just part of the journey to test you, to see if this is truly something that you want to commit, who
Yeah.
knows, X amount of years into it.
Part of the process, right?
Part of the process.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to leave before we wrap this up? Leave with technicians or other people that even maybe haven't even started in the vet world yet that you can help them.
Yeah, like I tell a lot of the students that I speak at these vet tech programs, get in early. Realize if this is something that you truly want to do. I've dealt with very much with a lot of technicians that get into the profession. They're so, I love animals, I love this, and in the first year they're like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm like, damn, you put in 2 years into your education to get to this point. You should have learned before you invested in that this is nothing you wanted to be even involved in. And
Right.
that's why I tell these tech students when they graduate from these veterinary assistant programs, hey, get a summer job working at an animal hospital. Be uncomfortable, be around urine, be around vomit, be around
Right.
blood. If you can withstand all that within your first year, you can really push on through the rest of the years. But it truly is that start early, realize that if you really want to be in this profession, you have to commit yourself to it. Commit to yourself to your education, commit to your CE credits, but be exposed to it to realize that this is something that you want to do, because I would hate for them to get involved in it. And then 5 years later, they're like, damn, what? I just wasted 5 years of my life, even though you're living. I wasted
Right.
5 years of my life. What am I going to do now? No, no, no. You should have learned that in year one, because you'll be able to withstand and realizing, oh, I can't take the see blood. I can't vomit. Nah, I'm out
Right.
of here. But
Right.
just make sure that this is something that you truly want to do. And in order for you to do that, you got to be exposed to it. And again, just commit to it.
Right. And I hear you in your story kind of with the attitude that learn everything you can learn, because that's kind of what you did. You went in on the ground level, you were really ambitious, you put in the hours, you learned all the things from the doctors that you worked for, you really got some training. And while you were working, it wasn't even the schoolings.
Yeah, it was really that. And again, I'm glad you mentioned that, Julie, real quick. So here in Miami-Dade County, Animal Services, obviously they're part of the county. They go around with this mobile RV unit called the Wellness on Wheels, or the WOW Mobile. It's literally a fully functioning animal hospital. They park it in underserved areas, like a dog park or a park, or even in like Lowe's parking lots and things like that. And they offer free vaccines for the community, right?
Nice.
And spay and neuter vouchers. And since I realized, hey, wait a minute, man, these people are so far removed from where the need is. Why can't we bring these trailers to these 6 vet tech programs that I identified throughout Miami-Dade County? Not only are they still offering free vaccines for the community, but now we got the students' involvement in it, that workforce development aspect of it. I kicked it up to my school board members. I hunted down every county commissioner here in Miami-Dade County. They love the idea. I kicked it right back up to Animal Services. We're in talks now of rolling out the WOW Mobile and something I'm calling the Paws and Youth Wellness Tour. Hopefully that will kick off in January of 2026, where we'll be going to my home school first, Homestead Senior High School. We'll be there for 3 months. Then we're going to transition over to Somerset Academy for 3 months, and then over to Robert Morgan for 3 months. And again, the goal is to prove this model that if myself, can do these things right now, why can't we duplicate this in other counties and in other states, with the goal, again, to beef up that workforce development aspect and expose these kids to this profession? Because again, me getting in early at 18, Julie, really took me off the street. Most of my friends were already doing street level stuff. But the fact that, again, I committed to this at a young age, what better way for me to give back my community than to show the youth that, hey, look, man, look at the things that I accomplished just because I got into this profession. And you
Right.
guys are already a leg up because you're already coming out the door certified, you know? So that's one of my main missions. Hopefully start off in January of 2026
You just
strong.
keep coming up with all these great ideas and all this
Yeah,
charity work. It's amazing. Well,
yeah.
I
And
appreciate you being in this profession and doing all the things that you're doing. It's really, it's interesting and also impressive what you're doing. And I think it's a real great example for young people out there that you can do pretty much whatever you want, regardless of your
yeah,
background, regardless of whatever it is that you want to do, because you're just creating. You
yeah.
just keep creating more things.
And that's what I love about this journey, is that the creativity never stops, and it's that curiosity that leads to creation. And I'm gonna just continue compounding off of that.
Yeah.
Again, I do my good deeds, affirmations, law of attraction, and eventually, like I mentioned, Julie, my day will come. I will be that 6 vet fund, and again, I'll be able to look back, leave the legacy behind with PetTrio Charity, have the innovation of KlipTrio, and then just invest in other individuals like myself to let them know, like, hey, I saw your journey. I know what it's like. Let's get you to the next step together.
I love that. So tell people where they can find out more. If they want to buy your invention when it comes out, how do they do that? Where do they find out if they want to contribute to the charity? Tell us all that.
Yeah, definitely. They can visit the charity organization at petriocharity.org. That's the handle as well for social media, Instagram and Facebook. Obviously, you can sign up to our newsletter to be up to date on some of the events I got going on. Donations will be opening up for people that want to donate towards this food drive. Hopefully, I plan on buying like marketing materials to promote the event at the school. Obviously, KlipTrio can be reached at kliptrio.com. The same handles as well for the social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also on TikTok. Again, I'm hoping to come out to market by 2026 in January. and just marry both the KlipTrio debut and the wellness pause and wellness tour in January 2026, and just have an amazing 2026. But it all starts today.
Well, and look for you at the next veterinary convention or conference. I'm sure you're going to be at all of
Yeah.
those, right?
Yeah, my goal is to eventually appear and debut at those the Global Pet Expo, Super Zoo, the Hive Conference, and all those conferences. And again, if they have startup pinch competitions with emerging product brands, I want KlipTrio to be that 2026 winner as well.
I want you to be there too. I want to see you on the veterinary Shark Tank. I love it.
That's gonna be the goal. That's gonna be the goal.
Well, this has been fun. I love listening to your story, and I just want everyone to hear it because it's very inspiring.
I appreciate it, Julia. Thank you so much again for your time. Thank you for opening up my messages on LinkedIn. And again, this is what it's about. Connecting with individuals. We all got a story to tell, and it's all on to us in this community to help amplify each other along our journey, you know?
Absolutely. We're all in the same boat, and we're all rooting for each other. So I'm really rooting for you. I hope you get that Animal Planet show or Nat Geo or whatever one does the veterinary shows, because I think you'd be great at it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'll back you. Okay, everyone, this is Alex Contreras, and look him up at your next conference and buy his KlipTrio and look at his tattoo. I love it. All right, everyone, have a beautiful week. Bye. Bye, Alex.
Bye.